everyone, we are from Department of English Literature, class of 2022, Universitas Negeri Medan. And in this video, I'm going to explain about relative clauses. So, I will briefly explain what a relative clause is and how to use a relative clause. Are you ready? Let's jump to the explanation. Definition. Relative clause is one kind of dependent clause. It has a subject and verb but can't stand alone as a sentence. A relative clause always starts with a relative pronoun that replaces a noun phrase, or pronoun when several sentences are combined.
Relative pronoun: who, whom, which, whose, that. First, who, used to replace the subject of people, not objects. Second, whom, used to replace the object of the person, not the object. Third, which, used to replace subjects and objects in the form of objects other than humans. Fourth, whose, used to replace possessive pronouns belonging to it. Fifth, that, used to replace people and things as subjects and objects.
There are two types of relative clauses, namely, first, restrictive relative clause. Restrictive relative clauses are often also known as defining clauses, provide information that describes a noun, or important information to complete the identification of a noun. We can use that or which for non-human nouns and use that or who for nouns that are human. Usually, also in this sentence is not used comma. Second, non-restrictive relative clause. This type is also known as a non-defining clause that only provides additional information. The information provided may be quite interesting and important for a broader conversation, but it is not important to be able to identify the nouns precisely. That cannot be used as a relative pronoun in a non-restrictive relative clause. Commas are always used at the beginning and end of this type of relative clause. A non-restrictive clause can modify a single noun, a noun phrase, or an entire preposition.
How to identify a relative clause? First, it contains a subject and a verb. Second, it begins with a relative pronoun: who, whom, whose, that, or which, or a relative adverb: when, where, or why. Third, it will also function as an adjective, answering the question what kind, how many, and which one.
Okay, we're going to talk about formula and examples. First, the formula. Relative pronoun or adverb plus subject verb. Relative pronoun as the subject plus verb as relative clause. Okay, next the examples. Who? Do you know the people who live in the greenhouse? Whom? The children whom we watch in the park or feeding ducks in the pond. Whose? I know a girl whose brother is a movie star. Which? Do you still have the shirt which I gave you 3 years ago? That. The jacket that I bought from the local market yesterday turns out to be a rare item. That brings us to the end of our material. Hopefully, the material we conveyed is useful for friends. Have a nice day.